wherever you are watching us from. Thank you for joining us today. Today's conversation is fundamentally important because it can actually change the way you build and lead your business. I'm absolutely delighted to have you join us for this topic promises to be to bring a powerful and insight-filled conversation. I am Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort show. On this program, we aim to add value to people and business enterprise as well as personal growth. Each show is organized to feature special guests who are subject matter experts that helps us to throw more insight into the topic of the day. You are most welcome. Whether you are a business owner or an executive, an aspiring entrepreneur, a professional, or someone simply interested in understanding how strong businesses are built, you are in the right place today. This is not just another business talk. This is a strategic wake-up call. Today's topic is both timely as well as critical, and it is beyond hustle, building businesses that can survive policy shocks and market volatility. I'm sure with that stated, you understand why it is very timely, because that is the season we are in at the moment. Different types of shock and market volatility. For many years, the word hustle has been celebrated, and rightly so, because we take hustle to mean hard work, resilience, determination, and the refusal to give up. But today's business environment is asking for something more. We are operating in an era where government policies can change overnight. Exchange rates can swing dramatically and affect our businesses. Inflation can reshape consumer behavior. Supply chains can be disrupted without warning. And entire industry can be transformed in just a few years. So the question is no longer just how are you working hard? The deeper question is, are you building a business that can withstand shocks, different types of shocks, of course? Because hustle may start a business, but structure, strategy, and foresight are what sustain businesses these days. Today, we will explore what it truly means to build a resilient business, one that is not only profitable in good times, but also prepared for uncertainty. Let's take a moment and reflect on what many businesses have experienced in recent years. Some woke up to regulatory changes that altered their cost structure instantly. Others saw their working capital eroded by inflation. Many struggled with pricing decisions as customers' purchasing power declined, and quite a number discovered, sometimes painfully, that revenue alone does not equal stability. The reality is that volatility is no longer an occasional visitor. It is now a permanent feature of the business landscape. So thriving today requires more than the usual effort. It requires financial resilience, intelligence, risk awareness, operating flexibility, strategic planning, and leadership maturity. And that is exactly why our conversation today matters. We have the right person on the show as our special guest for today to share great insight on this topic for us after this time out. Please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you. You're welcome back. Our guest today is no other than Deacon Solomon Adeleke, FCA. Deacon Adeleke, after his national diploma at the Polytechnic Ibadan and a few months of work experience, proceeded to the Birmingham Polytechnic, Birmingham, United Kingdom, to study for his ACCA professional qualification, which he completed in record time. Deacon Adeleke is a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and the Chartered Association of Certified Accountants, United Kingdom, that is ACCA. He worked in public practice of accountancy for over 4 decades, serving as engagement partner for assurance services to banks, manufacturing companies, and vast majority of public interest entities. He, along 6 other partners, formed the firm of Oyelami Soetan Adeleke and Co. The firm later joined Anini, Anini Dairo and Co. in September 2008 to form Volatility, Nigeria, where Deacon Adeleke served as partner and later as managing director between July 2018 and August 2020, retiring after a total of 40 years in public accountancy practice. He attended several courses and conferences organized by Volatility International, and for about 8 years served as a committee member of the African Coordinating Committee of Volatility International. Volatility International, it may interest you, rank as the 8th position among the network of national accountancy firms. So it's not a small firm at all. And they have representation in over 140 countries worldwide. He served as council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria for 9 years, leading key committees of the institute. He also served as chief examiner in the institute's professional examination committee for the financial accounting paper for several years. He is a past chairman of the Ibadan District Society of ICANN. A committed Christian, he was ordained a deacon of the Orita Mefa Baptist Church in 1996. He serves as a board member of the Bowen University Teaching Hospital, Ogbomoso. He also served as chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee of the Nigerian Baptist Convention for 6 years. He is married and blessed with 5 grown-up children, 2 of whom are chartered accountants. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our special guest for today, a respected voice in the world of business strategy and enterprise resilience. Our guest, a seasoned professional, is known for helping organizations move from fragile to formidable. With extensive experience advising businesses, navigating complex economic environments, and strengthening institutional capacity, our guest brings both practical wisdom and strategic depth to this conversation today. Please join me wherever you are in making welcome our own special guest for today, Deacon Solomon Adeleke, FCA.
Thank you
Deacon,
very much for having me.
you are
Thank
so
you.
much welcome. We thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us today, availing us of your precious time on a Sunday evening. We are
Pleasure.
truly honored to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
So
much for
without
having me.
thank you. You're welcome. So without much ado, we go straight to the first question to help us to unpack this interesting topic. Let's begin with the big picture. Many entrepreneurs pride themselves on being great hustlers. But in today's climate, why is also no longer enough?
Thank you very much. Just like the preamble you gave, to hustle probably will mean to be aggressive and to be hardworking. But in today's business climate, hard work may not be enough. Like a saying in Yoruba that says, "Alagbara mameru baba ole."
Yeah.
You discover that the climate is very uncertain and filled with a lot of ups and downs. Like your introduction, policy changes overnight that makes business plans to go awry. So, what is needed in today's climate is the ability to plan and to have plans that are nimble, plans that are adaptable to change, that can withstand the shocks of the market. This is very, very important. And also the quality of management that is far-sighted, that will be able to look at the future and not really, acting like a forecaster, a fortune teller, but being able to predict what will happen. And there are tools that can be used, which I'm going to be talking about later. You'll be able to see that with different happenings, what can the business do to keep afloat? So that is what is important. So passion is very important to make a business to survive. But beyond passion, there's the need for strategy. There's the need for planning. there's the need for acquiring talent to help the business owner to be able to weather the storm in the marketplace. Certainly, the climate is uncertain. Certainly, government policies is not something that is within one's control, but we can, put things on the table that will make our business to be able to adapt to change at a fast pace so that we are not going to be caught napping. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that in-depth insight. You really captured it all, that planning, flexible planning, not just planning, flexible one that you can easily adapt so that it does not become rigid. And then quality of management, those that are able to think out of the box and reason quickly and being proactive. So that is also important. Yes, passion is recognized, but it must come with strategy. Thank you
Mm.
very much. Those are powerful insights. Excuse me. Now, we've looked at that bigger picture, and that sets the pace for us. When we look at resilience, if you really want to now determine what you understand by resilience, when you look at a business that survived major disruption, what separates them from those that struggle or disappear?
Yeah, I believe that what separates those who survive in turbulent times from those who fail is the ability of management to be able to predict what may happen. And predicting what may happen is really something that one has to do with data, uh, making sure you, uh, look at various scenarios and see if this happens, what would be our response to it. And it also entails continuous risk assessment. Those who do risk of what is the risk that the company is faced with and identify it and be able to also propose mitigating factors to the risk. Those are the ones that survive. And consideration of needed changes to product. For example, the product in the market may not be competing effectively with those of the competition. Ability to adapt to change and to be able to make sure that either the product we are selling or the service are changed to be able to meet the standard that is trending in the marketplaces. And businesses also which build reserves. We know that I will use another Yoruba adage that don't eat with your 10 fingers. That is, if you make money, be able to build reserves to be able to cope with, lean times, because lean times come, just like the story of Joseph told us, that there are times of plenty and there are times of scarcity. But being able to pull resources together, for the eventuality of a business downturn also enables businesses to, survive downturn. So building reserve is very, very important. And proactive management also have their ears on the ground. That is, they listen to what is happening. They involved all tiers of management, all tiers of staff in gathering information in the marketplace to be able to see what the competition is doing and what could be their response in order not to be caught napping. And finally, what makes businesses survive is building customer loyalty. Once you have built a very good customer pool, they are there for you, come rain, come shine. Some of these are the things that separate those who fall from those who survive bad times.
Fantastic, like a true expert. You even had like a peep into my next question, rolled into one in your answer.
Yeah.
Thank you for that powerful insight. You made us realize that the quality of leadership, because it's leadership that guides the operational business strategy, the financial buffer, which is providing for the lean time that you mentioned, and governance, because because you refer to that through management, quality management that are proactive and all that comes with good governance structure and adaptability. So those are key things that we need to watch out for, and that can actually make us stand tall in a turbulent time. We are sure that definitely turbulent time is part of life. It's not if, it is when. So we must definitely prepare for it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now, what are the early warning signs leaders should pay attention to from what you have diagonized in this earlier question, for leaders to know or suspect that troubled times are coming? What are the early signs?
Well, I think one of the early warning signs is dwindling revenue. When we are not meeting our sales targets again, and it's not that there's anything wrong with the quality of our product, but probably the market is not responding to it like it used to. You know, when before the advent of digital photo, those who were producing cameras were producing the analog. But when the digital cameras came on board, you know, those who were producing the analog type, you know, found that they were losing business. And the very good ones of them had to retract by doing it. Another warning sign is when cash flows are not flowing in as it should be. That is another sign that one is really struggling. And you know, with the first one that I said, losing market share is you know, an evident sign that things are not going well. And also, it may be even losing key staff to competition. That if you are not able to pay competitive salaries, it means that probably we are doing certain things that are not in line with what is trending in the market, and the competition is poaching our staff and it making us lose ground. Those are some of the early warning signs that one looks for, and one should be able to look back and say, what are we going to do to be able to mitigate the loss of revenue, to be able to stop the drain in our cash flows, and to be able to also halt even the slide of the company's market share. And I believe that when one pays attention to those early warning signs, one will be able to rise up to the occasion and be able to prescribe solutions that would help us overcome them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. At least there are some that resonate with every business owner when you have a stiff competition and then either lose key customer, maybe a major customer,
Yeah.
then also key staff.
Mhm.
Those are things that should be worrisome, that you need
Mm.
to quickly see how you mitigate a possible problem
Mm.
coming. And market share, when it started dwindling, need to find out the cause. Is this something that you can do something about internally, or you need to adapt or make changes and things like that? And cash flow, which is key. Definitely, that's the bloodline for businesses. So those are key things to watch out for. Those business leaders that are listening, we do not, once we see all these signs, we should not wait until the eventual happen. We should quickly find a way of addressing them or possibly mitigating the catastrophe. Thank you very much. So many businesses, like we talked about, maybe loss of revenue, but in some cases, some revenue are growing. Businesses celebrate the fact that their revenue is increasing,
Mm.
but still they remain dangerously vulnerable, even despite increase in revenue. So,
Mm.
what does true financial strength look like?
Well, I believe that true financial strength is a combination of growing revenues backed up with optimum cash flow. Because without cash, the business is vulnerable to whatever shocks there are. Because it is with the flow of cash that will make you to meet your short, medium, and long-term commitments. And it also guarantees your ability to be able to generate enough resources to plan for future investments in case there's need for you to diversify. So it is not good to only celebrate revenues. One should also mind, making sure that the revenues, that the sales that you make are turned to cash and then they come in. If you have a very big debt profile, that is, people are owing you, you have sold, but you are not collecting the money, I think it's a problem. And we don't have factoring companies in Nigeria like in other places where you can sell your debts to get money. You need to do something about it to motivate your customers to sell, or to probably look at your business model. What can you do better to be able to ensure that your sales are backed with cash, and making sure that you collect enough money to meet your obligations. So this is very important that one should do. So it's not only celebrating growth in revenue. Another thing is that some people make a mistake to think that when they make sales, that is equivalent to profit. That may not be it, because if the pricing is not done properly, it may actually mean that you are selling at a loss, or you are selling at a margin that is not enough for you to be able to operate successfully. So one has to watch it very well. And also, the lifestyle of the owner should not be made, should not be, gauged, should not be made to rise with the increase in turnover, because that is not the same thing as what the company is, because the company needs working capital to continue going. And many Nigerian businessmen make that mistake to think that when I'm selling, as long as I'm selling, I can begin to live a lifestyle that is matching the money that I think is coming in.
Economy.
They don't have good accounts to show them what actually, whether they are making profits, whether the profits are actually turned into cash, and whether they have a leeway to spend. They spend frivolously, and it hurts them. It hurts their businesses.
Very, very true. And one thing that comes strongly in this response also is the power of cash flow. The power of cash flow. We cannot overemphasize the need for us to really manage that very well. And then the illusion sometimes that businesses make as mistake, believing that because they are selling, revenue is high, it equates profitability. They are not one and the same,
No,
because it depends, like our guest said, depends on your pricing structure. Are you able to cover your cost? Sometimes you are even selling below cost, yet you are still selling, but your costing is not properly done. So all these things are something we need to really pay attention to. In your earlier response, you referred to making provision like for raining day or lean day. Should every business prioritize reserve, building of reserve?
certainly. Every business should prioritize building of reserves. If I read a book that says that in the early stage of running a business, 80% of your profit should be plowed back into the business, and you should only live on 20% of it. And by doing that, you would have built up enough reserve over the years for the shocks that will take place, in future. And I read that there was one man that was running a business, was making money, and luckily he was not living beyond his means. He was building reserves, and he diversified the reserves into property development and other things. Now, when it happened that he run into a terrible problem in his business, the result he had to do was to begin to sell some of the assets, which he used to pay part of the debt he had. So without such a reserve, it would have just gone into extinction completely and into bankruptcy. So every business need to prioritize reserves, because that is what is going to save you in the case of any eventuality in future, which is something that is normal in life. Life is about ups and downs. Prosperity and adversity, is an admixture of the two, and every business faces it, whether we like it or not.
Thank you very much. If you were to advise a business, what are three structural elements you will advise them to build immediately to improve survival odds?
Yeah, three structural elements that I would probably advise um, a business to do is that they should prioritize building a very strong team, a team composed of talented individuals who help them to build the business. Because you see, business is not something that anybody does alone. You need a strong team that buys into your vision. Another thing is to prioritize customer satisfaction. What is important is to be able to win customer loyalty. I read a story of one car manufacturer recently that had to recall some brand in some countries because of I think, an error in one functionality in that product. What they are trying to do is that what matters to them is not whether they make profit or make loss, but what matters to them is that their customers are satisfied with the quality of their product. And I think that it's a priority for any business to be able to ensure that it gives customers satisfaction. That is, the quality of our product or service is of a quality that people are prepared to pay whatever price one has for it. And that comes to building a niche in the market. And finally, I think I would also advise that the business should also prioritize crafting a vision for the business and a mission focus. What is the mission of the organization? Uh, and that will be prepared into a workable and adaptable plan for the entity. So those are the three things I think I would advise any business to give priority attention to. And with that, I believe that they can leverage on it.
Excellent, excellent. Definitely, it will make a lot of difference.
Mm.
In uncertain environments, we believe leaders are tested. What mindsets must leaders cultivate if they want their organization to remain steady, even though the market is not?
Mm. Well, I think that one mindset that business leaders need to possess in uncertain times is that they should remain positive about the business, and they should have self-belief that it will end well. And it is that gives the subordinates the leeway to be able to, galvanize for success. And then they should also be proactive about adapting to changes in the marketplace. Definitely, in uncertain times, there are changes that need to be made in the marketplace. And sometimes uncertain times also provide opportunities. And I believe that looking out for the opportunities that that time provides is another mindset that they should have. It is not all bad. In fact, one of my friends will say that it is in adversity that there is profit. And when something is difficult, when things are, clumsy, they provide opportunity for those who are able to look out for such opportunities and quickly take them. I believe that having that mindset would help, tie it up for any uncertain times.
Very well. That self-belief, because if the leader is seen to be panicking, definitely people under him will be discouraged, and they probably start looking elsewhere. But if you radiate that confidence, that positiveness, that things will turn around, things will get better, that will encourage your team to also stay put and put in their best. That is very, very key. And of course, the proactiveness to be able to uh, take the bull by the horn, as they say, and not wait until the full damage is done. Thank you very much for that response. We can also look at agility without chaos. Everyone talks about agility, but constant change can create confusion internally. How can business remain flexible without losing that strategic direction?
Mm. Well, I believe that agility talks about being flexible, being malleable to change. And what I think really helps in this situation is getting everybody in the organization to be involved in the conversation around what can we do to face the challenge that we are thrown that is thrown at us. I believe that one thing it does is that it gets everybody committed to being part of this solution to the problem. So we want to discuss what are we going to do about the problems hurting the organization, and everybody will gather their thoughts, and we are going to sensitize it and take a stand as an organization. And if it is what we are going to do, everybody sees himself as being committed to it. So I think that is very important for us to know. So getting everybody involved is a way of helping with commitment and to resolve the problem jointly, and to be able to set out to working at the solution together as a team.
Thank you very much. In your earlier response, you mentioned rightly the role of data. How important is data in navigating volatility? And how can smaller businesses become more data informed without becoming overwhelmed?
Mm.
Because some of them are still wondering, what is this noise about data, data?
Yeah, yeah. Well, small businesses may have a problem in the sense that they may not have the machinery to be able to generate the data themselves, but they can get the data by consulting government agencies that provide it, like the Office of the National Bureau of Statistics, like the SMEDAN, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agencies of Nigeria. They have some data about businesses like their own that they can leverage on, and also some regulatory agencies like the FIRS, like the CBN, and so on and so forth. But data is a very important foundation in making informed decisions in an uncertain business environment, because with data you can do scenario planning. That is, you can ask questions like, what if this happens, what is going to be our response? That is, you'll be able to hazard some guesses. That is, what will be our response in case this happens? In very complex situations, we can be talking about probability analysis, but in smaller businesses, what they can think about is what will be our response in case we get into this situation, and we think it out and be able to map out strategies to be able to do it. And we have also sensitivity analysis. How sensitive is our end product, our profit, to some outcomes? Those are things that data helps us to do. So what data helps us to do is to be able to make us to be prepared for any eventuality before they come. They don't just jump on us. We are part of it. We have envisaged it. We have thought it out, and we have thought about what our plan of action will be to it. So it doesn't just catch us, napping, unprepared at all. because with data, we'll be able to have predictions about some certain things, and which within some, plus or minus percentages, sometimes we can get it right.
Thank you very much. That is very correct. And I want to assure all our small businesses owner that even with your explanation, they may still be thinking, oh, am I going to go to Bureau of Statistics and all that? When you hear data, don't just expand it beyond unnecessary scope, even within your little scope, as
Mm-hmm.
little as going to the market to do price sampling of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
similar product is
Yeah.
gathering of data.
Yeah.
So when you look at what is happening in the industry you belong to, and okay, like let me just use a typical example that will resonate with everybody. When the flour price started jumping, and the issue of bread becomes even before getting to this height, people were going about other bakeries to find out, how are you coping, what are you doing, are you reducing your
Mm-hmm.
measure, are you
Mm-hmm.
changing the
Mm-hmm.
size of your pan, and things like that. Is it the
Yeah.
mixture that you are, or are you adjusting prices? Those are data collection,
That's right.
and it
That's right.
will help you to make the right decision at the simplest form. So anybody can collect data. What is important for us to know and to believe is that this data comes very useful for us, and it helps us to stay afloat and weather the trouble time more easily than just to be in the dark, or
Mm.
just be in your cocoon, relying on old data that, or old information that may not even be serving you anymore. So
Mm.
let us bear in mind, because this also goes for when people say do research. It's like doing research. When you go to market, you price, you
Mm.
test, you go to other people doing the same business like yourself, you check what they are doing. Some people, they even go like ghost customers, just to make sure that they get the right information.
Yeah.
Because if you go and say in this climate, if you go and say I'm in the same business with you, some people will not divulge. But if you
Mhm.
go as a ghost customer and pretend that you want to buy or you want to supply, you get the information you require. So
Mm.
let us put this into
Mm.
our strategy.
Mm.
It's usually very helpful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, we look at all this, that yes, there are uncertain times, yes, there are disruptive times, but in there lies
Opportunity.
opportunity. History shows that some of the strongest companies were built even during turbulent times. Like some people are saying, even at these hard times, billionaires are being made. You know, at the very tough time during COVID,
Mm.
billionaires emerge.
Mm.
So where should business leaders be looking for opportunities right now, given our current economy situation in Nigeria?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I just finished reading a book, Making It Big by Femi Otedola. And he told the story of how he started selling diesel. That he had a house in Ikeja where somebody came to deliver diesel to him. And he saw that the way and manner the supply was done was not satisfactory to him. They just got to him that, I could get you to this business and be selling diesel. And when he now went into it, he saw that it was a very big market because Nigeria actually depend on diesel to power virtually everything, from factories to homes and whatever. And when he started by selling diesel in tanks that he would get into a truck. He bought a truck. He had two or three uh, drums behind his something van, which he delivered to companies. And from then he went to getting tank farms of himself, buying ships to be able to supply diesel, and he covered the market. He cornered the market. He had a vision. So sometimes it is actually problems that generate businesses. And today, if I want to tell people where they could look to, I believe that we have a crisis in food production and agriculture, though it's very difficult, an investment option. But in the agricultural value chain, there are so many things one can do. Not only planting, not only having farms. You can be part of. You can, fix, get your business as part of the
into
value
the
chain,
chain.
and you start
Yes.
small, and then you build up. And energy is one other thing. When you talk about energy, people look at, it's a very capital intensive thing. But alternative energy is one thing that is going now, that is in the fancy, and a lot of people are tapping into it. I believe it presents opportunities even for small players to be able to do well. People who sell inverters and so on, they do very well, because we thought that by now we would have gotten over our energy crisis, but it seems not to be answering to any solutions. So it presents opportunities for us to also look at. I believe that those are areas that businessmen and potential businessmen can look into to be able to generate businesses for themselves. So those are the two opportunities I have. And I believe that over time, if you are very strategic about it and go about in a way that is masterly, you can build a very big business out of it. And Femi Otedola did for himself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Time is not on our side as usual, but we can quickly squeeze in some of this what I call a rapid round. Just one answer question, just short. So let me just quickly take some of them. If we want to look at one habit every resilient CEO must develop, what should it be?
Well, one habit every resilient CEO must develop would be a habit of never giving up and having a critical
Okay.
mind and being positive. I believe that I said it earlier. I think it's a habit that
Yeah,
one should
fantastic.
develop. Yeah,
Thank you very much. The next one is cash flow or profit, which deserves more attention.
I believe it's cash flow. Cash flow deserves more attention because you see, you can
Because
sell.
it's the bloodline. It's
It's
the
the bloodline.
bloodline.
It's the
Uh,
bloodline. Yeah. So
okay.
prioritize cash flow. Yes.
One risk leader consistently underestimate. One risk.
One risk that leaders consistently
Most lead uh, underestimate.
underestimate mostly
Yes.
is the risk of losing out in the market. It's a risk that you can easily underestimate, thinking that the customers are always there for me. I believe that it's
Yes.
not something we should take for granted. It's something we should continually nurture and make sure that the customers are always there for us.
Okay. One book or resource you recommend to our
Yes.
listening audience. One book
Well, I will recommend the book I
or
just finished
resource.
reading. I will recommend the book I just
How to
finished
make
reading,
it big.
Making It Big by Femi Otedola. I think
Okay.
everybody should get it and read it. There are so many things he said there. You may agree with them, you may not agree with them, but I learned quite some bit. In fact, when I was going to buy it, the owner of the bookshop said, I don't need it again. I said, look, I need it for my children. I will read it and give it to them to read too. And
And
I believe that,
advice.
yeah, an
Yes.
advice. And I believe that everybody
Mm.
entrepreneur needs it.
Fantastic insight. Short, sharp, and extremely valuable. Thank you very much.
Thank you
We
very
cannot
much.
thank you enough, Dikin Adeleke, but you have not surprised me because I know the stuff you have. That's why we feel highly honored that you are able to come to this show. You gave him great insights, awesome, inspiring insights on this topic. And I'm sure one way or the other, we've been able to help our listeners on some of the points you have raised. So we appreciate you. We thank you for your resourcefulness and
Thank
for
you.
this great insight. While we were on this interview segment, some people joined us. some may be known to you. Obodo Solomon, I hope I got the name right. Then we had Shola Olojede, okay, that's one of our colleagues. Adedokun Modupe, maybe known to you. Then we have Wendy Garuba, one of our Garuba Ayeni, one of our
I know her.
colleagues. I'm sure you
Yeah,
you know her.
I know her. Yeah.
Then we have Banjo Bayode joining us also. Then okay, he also had a contribution. Let me quickly take that. That's Banjo. What early warning indicators should management monitor to anticipate policy shocks rather than merely reacting to them? He has actually answered that in the
Mm,
course of the interview. He has
mm.
actually answered that. Then we have Omojoba, I think it's Omojoba Adebayo, and a few others that I may not have been able to note their name while the interview was on. We say thank you to all of you. We appreciate you as a form of wrapping up. Uh, One thing that is clear in this conversation today is that businesses are not sustained by hustle alone. They are sustained by intentional design. The future belongs to organizations that prepare before disruption arrives. That is the proactiveness we've been talking about. And those that think structurally and not just tactically, and that understand resilience is not accidental. So all these ingredients have been pointed out by our special guest. So the question facing every serious business leader is no longer how fast can we grow. The real question should be how shock-proof have we been able to build our business, because growth is exciting, as we know, but endurance is legendary. So the advice here is for our businesses to build good architecture, build a good system, build buffers, build clarity, build leaders, and build an organization that does not panic when the environment changes but adjust with confidence. We talked about adaptability. Remember, hustle may create movement, but resilience creates legacy. And most importantly, keeping building businesses worthy of the future. If you take one idea away today, let it be that you should not just build for growth only, but you should build for endurance, because markets will shift, policies will evolve, economic cycles will turn, but well-built businesses adapt and endure. Let's continue building businesses that are not just active but truly resilient. Let us also stay strategic. Once again, I would like to appreciate all online audience, both those that have mentioned their name and those that have not been able to pick their name. We appreciate you for sparing time to connect with us today for this enlightening session on beyond hustle, building businesses that can survive policy shocks and market volatility. Our next episode is New Tax Law, Real Impact. What business what businesses and individuals need to understand now. Part two. Remember that last week we promised you that we will have a part two because we were not able to cover all the areas that we wanted to examine. Excuse me. So we said we will bring the man back, and it was very, very good. Pastor Peter Adebayo FCA will be joining us next Sunday to help us do justice to that topic where he left it last week. If you have found this session valuable, please share it with your network. Someone else may need this clarity. Be sure to follow us for future conversation designed to inform, empower, and elevate. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have subscribed, please turn on the notification button, like, and share our videos. Stay updated with information about upcoming events, solutions and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. Till I come your way again, let's stay prepared and keep building for the future. Goodbye and God bless you. Thank you again to our special guest of the day and all the online audience.